Painting color sketches can help you develop more powerful compositions and improve your painting overall. This is because each one can be like a miniature painting in which you practice decision making as you go through all the stages of a painting in a short amount of time. Besides these benefits, color sketches are fun to paint. I'm Sarah F. Jayne. Welcome to this episode of my painting videos. For a free PDF sheet summarizing this video, visit www.oldgarden.com. I'm about to set up to do some color sketches. Before I do that, I want to share the different things that you can use color sketches for. Here's some color sketches from a painting trip I took to Mexico. Color sketches are so handy for traveling because so few supplies are needed. Color sketches are also really useful for figuring out compositions and playing around with positioning and orientation. Color sketches are not limited to a certain genre. They're useful for figuring out simple compositions in still life and more complex ones. Here's an example where I've moved around the different elements. In portraiture, it's a great way to capture fleeting images of people in action that you can later use in paintings. It also works quite well for landscape. Often, if I go to a nature spot, I'll take a pad like this with me. Sometimes I'll gesso the page ahead of time, but it's not even necessary. Here I've painted, done a value study, and sketched with an ink pen, all on the same page. So let's move in and we'll do one in action. For my color sketches, I like to use the Strathmore pads, 400 series. They're really nice because they come in all different sizes. But it's really helpful to gesso the sheets before painting the color sketches. If you don't do that, then on a heavily painted page, you'll get a lot of oil bleed through if you're using oil paints. So to do that, I gather up 4 pads at once because they have to dry open for the gesso not to smear. So here are my 4 pads ready to go. Now, I typically buy the gesso in a large 1-gallon container. I slide a piece of paper under the sheets like this so that I can overbrush and don't have to do it very carefully. Depending on the thickness of your gesso, it may leave paint ridges. That can be nice for the texture of paintings, but one thing I like to do is, for the color sketches, is leave it fairly smooth. You do the larger ones first, move your pads aside to dry, and paint some smaller ones. After I've gessoed the pads, I like to give the sheets a quick sanding. I'm using 220 sandpaper. The sheets will flatten out after they've sat closed in the pad for a while. I use a Silver Grand Prix brush, 1003 series, in size 0. I like to do my sketching in yellow ochre because it practically disappears. I'm just going to make a little frame for my painting. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm doing a horizontal shot. Right now I'm just looking for the shadow patterns, which are here. That'll be nice. A real nice contrast going to pick up. I'm going to pick up some colors. Like color spots that I discuss in another video, this is actually more easily done when you have a bunch of colors already on your palette because you just need lots of little samples, teeny tiny little amounts of color. The great thing about doing color sketches is that they are a microcosm for a painting. So you practice every aspect of your painting. The other lovely thing about color sketches is that they don't take much paint. Just kind of nice. Sometimes you don't want to squeeze out all your paint. You just have, a little bit of time. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Old Garden, by clicking on this subscribe button below this video. I regularly post videos with mini demonstrations and painting tips. I look forward to painting with you. Here's the same scene with a quick ink sketch. Here's the scene of Saddleback